All right, welcome in. It's a Football Friday here on Eagles Now. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for being here with me, and I hope you're all getting set to have a fantastic weekend. Coming up on today's show, some Eagles injury news going into this game on the road against the Commanders, in which Philadelphia 4-1 in their last 5 at FedEx Field. We have an update on Kevin Byard and his status going into Sunday's game as well. And with the NFL trade deadline coming up on Tuesday, we've talked all week about how Howie Roseman could make another move. NFL insiders don't think that he's done, and NFL general managers have said Howie is still working the phones. And Philadelphia, rumored to be interested in a Pro Bowl slot cornerback. Who is it? We'll tell you coming up here in just a bit. First, I want to thank everybody for your support. Last night, we got to 59,000 subscribers. During our watch party on Sunday against the Commanders, we're going to be able to get to 60,000 subscribers. So if you want Eagles shows every single day with news, analysis, and opinions, live shows, and watch parties, this is your go-to spot. Appreciate all of your support in advance. As for the latest Philadelphia Eagles injury news, let's start off on that front. Jalen Hurts not even listed on the Eagles injury report. I think that this is really important in the macro, in the micro, for right now, and in the future. I think what Hurts is dealing with right now, just kind of a nagging bruise. Nothing serious. Otherwise, Philadelphia would have him on the injury report, and maybe they'd be resting him. He wouldn't be practicing, but every time the Eagles took the practice field at the NovaCare complex, he was involved in all team activities, and he was a full participant. Today, full participant, Reed Blankenship with that rib injury that he suffered against the New York Jets after that blindside, borderline dirty hit from Allen Lazard. Blankenship was back on the practice field this week. He, too, paired with Kevin Byard as the Eagles' new safety tandem. I can't wait to see what the new safety duo looks like for Philadelphia. I love the move by Howie Roseman, given you give up a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick in Terrell Edmonds, but also the player comes back in Kevin Byard, who I think is a really, really good player. 2-time former first-team All-Pro, great instincts, interceptions co-leader back in 2017. Everybody raves about the leadership qualities that he has, but the football smarts that he possesses, which allows him to have a beat and make plays on the football. I just think that he can be a game changer in the secondary. And for the real ones who watch the show, you already know I'm a big Reed Blankenship fan too. Both of them played at Middle Tennessee State, by the way. So now you have a Middle Tennessee State combination on that back end. Kevin Byard, for multiple years, has been considered as one of the top safeties in the game, and now he's rocking the midnight green, and oh yeah, he grew up in the Philadelphia area as well. So it looks as though Byard's going to be able to play on Sunday to make his Eagles debut. Reed Blankenship going to be alongside him, and then you can use Sidney Brown as like a versatile chess piece. He can be a backup safety, but if you need him to play in the slot, little hybrid linebacker, get him involved on blitz packages because Sean Desai has shown to be very creative in that regard. You can do that. It also fortifies your depth. Nick Sirianni today on Byard. He had a great week of practice, and everything is considered. We're confident in him. We'll see how much he plays on Sunday. He's a consummate pro, and I can't wait to see what he looks like in that number 31 jersey. Bradley Roby, the only player who did not practice at all, he is on track to miss Sunday's game. One would think that the Eagles will continue to use that rotation of Josiah Scott, who they signed last week, and Eli Ricks in the slot. Sidney Brown can also be there. Eli Ricks was really good against the Dolphins. He was targeted 3 times. All 3 times he was targeted by Tua Tagovailoa, he was guarding Tyreek Hill. Did not give up a reception, and the pass breakup instincts that he's shown now in the regular season and in the playoffs could be a young building block for this defense. 4 players were limited on the Eagles injury report: James Bradberry, Jordan Davis, Zach Cunningham, and Milton Williams. Bradberry with an ankle, Jordan Davis with a hamstring, Zach Cunningham with an ankle, and Milton Williams with a heel injury. Jordan Davis did not practice on Friday. He suffered that hamstring injury during Thursday's practice. When you suffer a soft tissue injury like that late in the week, I think it's going to be a hard turnaround for Davis to be able to play on Sunday against the Commanders. You want to err on the side of caution, but Davis has been so important for this Eagles defensive line. He's been incredibly great. The jump that he's made from year one to year two has been super impressive. So if you have to hold him out so that you have him for the long haul, you don't want to risk any further injury to the hamstring for a guy who's 6'6", 340. I highly doubt that Davis plays on Sunday against the Commies. Some Commanders injury news. The Commanders' top linebacker, Cody Barton, and starting left guard, Sadiq Charles, missed practice again. They're on track to miss Week 8 potentially. Curtis Samuel, their number 3 wide receiver, was upgraded to limited after Wednesday's DNP. Looks like he has a chance to play. Starting cornerback Benjamin St-Juste, new addition to the Thursday injury report. He was limited with a thigh issue. He's played well this year, only allowing a passer rating of 73.5 when targeted. If he can't play, the Commanders could have to turn back to utilizing the recently benched 2023 first-round pick in Emmanuel Forbes, who talked all that smack in the lead-up to that first matchup against Philadelphia and A.J. Brown, and Forbes absolutely put him in the dirt. And then starting right guard Sam Cosmi was upgraded from limited to full go. So that's the latest injury news for the Eagles as well as the Commanders. Coming up next here on the show, more trade buzz to get to. Could Howie Roseman make a move for a Pro Bowl slot cornerback? First, PrizePicks, our sponsor for today's Eagles Now. If you want up to a $100 deposit match, head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. PrizePicks, the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. You play their more or less game, and it's daily fantasy sports made easy. You go more or less on a athlete's projected stat total. And for instance, last night I hit all 3 of my picks to have a really big payout. I had Damian Lillard more than 18.5 points, Tyrese Maxey more than 22.5. He dropped 31. Dame had 39. And I had more for Gabe Vincent of the Lakers at 6.5 points. He tallied 7. So it makes game days a lot more fun during the football season. I've won up to 25 times my money. So get involved right now. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS for that up to $100 deposit match. So let's get to some Eagles trade rumors here. There's some reports surfacing now later in this week, even after the Eagles traded for Kevin Byard, that Howie Roseman has his eye on Kenny Moore, the cornerback for the Indianapolis Colts. He has a lot of experience in this league. He's played on the outside. He's played in the slot for Philadelphia. He would be their slot corner to take over for Avonte Maddox this year, obviously, with Maddox out with that pec injury, but maybe even into the future if the Eagles look to move on from Avonte Maddox. Kenny Moore, 28 years old, 5'9", 190, so better size to play slot as compared to the outside. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL and even made the NFL's top 100 players list a season ago. This is a pretty obvious fit for Philadelphia considering the need at that position. It makes sense for Indy to trade him away. It makes sense for Philadelphia to bring him in. He is in the final year of his contract, and even though Shane Steichen is doing a heck of a job with Indy, former Eagles offensive coordinator, they're not serious contenders, right? So could they get some value back for a player that they might lose otherwise in NFL free agency? Kenny Moore did make the Pro Bowl in 2021. He played his college ball at Valdosta State. That is a Division II school in Georgia. In 2018, year 2, he had 11 pass breakups. And then in 2020 and in 2021, 13 pass breakups in each of those seasons. And his Pro Football Focus grades this year, pretty damn good. Overall grade of 68.8, a run defense grade of 80.1, and a coverage grade which is north of 70. I think that Philadelphia could approach this as a one-year rental or even the long-term slot cornerback if they do want to move off of Avonte Maddox. You trade for a slot corner. That allows Kevin Byard to still be versatile for this defense because we talked earlier about his snap counts at different positions in the box, slot nickel, deep safety. you can still use him in that regard, but you kind of keep him and Reed Blankenship as those safeties who can roam the field, and you know for sure that you have a solid slot cornerback in Kenny Moore. And I'm not sure what the compensation would be for a player like this, but it is a move that I would certainly look into because, look, Howie Roseman's not content when it comes down to roster building. He's always looking to address weaknesses. And with a player like Kenny Moore, you address a weakness right there. So wanted to hop on the mic here on this Friday to pass along the latest Eagles news and trade buzz going into Tuesday's NFL trade deadline. Watch party coming up on Sunday. Trade deadline coming up on Tuesday. Videos every single day in the lead up to that and every day in general because that's what we do. Make sure you subscribe, and I hope all of you have a fantastic weekend.